In the marketplace, a lot of the people, when they want to price their service, here's what most people do.
If you can't break your survival mentality, you'll stay in survival mode forever.
I don't think when you're trying to provide value that you get to decide what the value is.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Dan Lok.
In the marketplace, a lot of the people, when they want to price their service, here's what most people do, right? Especially when they're getting started. They're going to the marketplace and they're thinking, let's see what other people are charging, right? If I'm offering, let's say, a copywriting service, well, let me look at what other people charge. And they say people will charge this price and some people will charge this price. You see the range. Well, maybe I'll just charge somewhere in the middle. That's how usually people price the service. That's not a very smart thing to do. Because right there, you are competing based on price instead of competing based on value. So what dictates your price is supply and demand. So the first thing you need to look at is, with what you do, is it a blue ocean? Meaning, are you unique enough in the marketplace? Are you uniquely qualified to solve this particular problem for your prospects? So back then when I was a copywriter, I wasn't trying to be a copywriter for everybody. I was trying to be a copywriter only for speakers, trainers, and people who put together events. The reason for that is because back in the day, when they do an event, there's always a very high payout. It's a high ticket offer, right? They do an event, it's possible that they're selling $2,000, $3,000 ticket, and they could have hundreds of people in the room, and they need my marketing piece, my direct mail letters, to put butts in seats to fill those seminar rooms. So they know even if they pay me $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 to create a campaign, in their mind, oh well, if I sell 2-3 seats, it pays for Dan's fee. It's easy to justify. So you need to think about, when you price what you do, what is the value that you're providing? And how can you compare the value you're providing with the service that you provide? So you're thinking about just, well, here's what I do, you will not be able to charge a lot. A much better way to look at this is, okay, how can I package what I do? So now I'm selling a result, I'm selling an outcome, or better yet, I'm selling money at a discount. I'm selling money at a discount. What does it cost the prospect not to do business with me? That's a very good question. Write it down. What does it cost the prospect not to do business with me? Then you can price accordingly.
Most entrepreneurs don't charge enough. You're so worried about getting rejected or losing clients because of a higher price that you'll charge just enough so that you stay just above the survival line. That's not how winning businesses are built. If you can't break your survival mentality, you'll stay in survival mode forever. So the first brand deal that I ever got was for $500 from a major telecommunications company, and they wanted me to write for their website. And they hired me, they hired 9 other people to write an article, and they said, write 300 words, we'll pay you $500. And for me, $500 at the time, I thought, this is great. It's amazing. I got my first deal, $500, this is cash. I'm pumped. But more important, I'm getting a link from a huge company. And for anybody back in the old school SEO days, if you get linked from a big company, that can mean a lot for your business to take off for rankings. So I would have done it for free just for the link. So they gave me the $500, but I didn't just write the 300 words because I wanted to give more value. I wanted to get paid based off the value that I could provide. And so I had to show them, here's how much value I can bring. And so instead of writing 300 words, I wrote 1,500 words, right? 5 times more than what they asked. And then I made a video talking about it. And then I also promoted it to my newsletter list, promoted it to my audience, let people know when that article came up, here it was. And so what happened? As a result of me doing all this work, I was the only one doing it. So when they came to the end of the series, I had my posts that were crushing it, and the 9 other people were doing what was asked, the 300 words, the bare minimum. What is asked of you is the bare minimum. That's your ticket into the door. If you just did what they asked, that's not enough. That's not giving them insane value. And so I was the only one that they hired. 10 of us went in. I was the only one who kept going because I brought them way more value. Now, I started charging more for what I was doing. It went from $500 per post to $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000, kept increasing my prices because I was bringing them the value and they could see it. And so at the very beginning, I was grateful. I was just grateful to get the gig. I was grateful to get my first corporate gig, to get $500, to get a link from the website. I was grateful. I was pumped. I was happy. I was excited. This is the best. But I wanted to make this a business. And you can't have a business on $500 a month. And so I had to ask myself, how do I bring more value? If I want to get paid more, I need to bring more value. And either these guys are going to recognize it or somebody else will. I'm going to give you a 3-step process that you can use to start charging more. Step number 1 is give the baker's dozen. I don't know how common a term this is, but I remember when I was young, growing up at my cottage, we'd always go to this local bake shop and they sold donuts. And they would sell a 12-pack of donuts, but they would add a 13th one in for free, and they called it the baker's dozen. A dozen is supposed to be 12, but they give you a 13th donut for free. So you get your 12 and you can pick one more for free as a bonus, as an extra, as more value. And so you want to think about that in your business as well. Think about all the clients that you're helping. How can you give the baker's dozen? How can you give that one extra donut, that one extra little bit of value? Not of what you want to do, but of what is actually valuable for them, right? In the example of my client, I wrote 5 times as many words. I added a video. I promoted to my newsletter list. Think about being your client's chief goal officer. What are they trying to accomplish? They're hiring you for something, but they also have bigger goals in their life or business. What are they trying to accomplish? And the more you can help them accomplish that thing, the more they're going to love you, the more they're going to refer you, and the more they're going to pay you for helping them out. And so adopt the baker's dozen mentality. You're just assuming that what is on paper is not going to be enough. That's just the entry point, that's the bare minimum. You're always going to add in that extra donut. Step 2, increase your prices by 30%. Just try it. For your next client, increase your prices 30%. A big problem for a lot of entrepreneurs is you're already doing the baker's dozen. You're doing more than the baker's dozen. You're giving insane value. You're spending an incredible amount of time researching, helping, thinking about your client, and you're just not getting paid enough for it. And so your next client that comes in, just try it. 30% more, 30% more, 30% more. And you'll slowly transition to be able to have bigger clients, because only doing work with people who can afford to pay you what you're worth is not how you're going to build a great business. It's honestly better to work with people who can afford to pay you, and then you keep 10% of your clients to be charity cases. That's actually even for free. You don't charge them, it's free. It's your community service. It's your work to give back to the community around you. Amazing, but you can't build your business off of that. Most of your business has to be off of people who are paying you what you're worth. And so the next client that comes in, you summon your courage, you look at your typical price that you would charge, now it's 30% more. And step 3 is start small. I love starting small. I hate having to go into a business and do this giant pitch because it's a 6-figure deal. I hate that. It takes too long. It has to go through too many hands. It has to have too many meetings. It's a committee to make a decision. It just takes too long. The best place to start is small. Just find the smallest deal to get started on. One tiny little thing that you can do for them, and then be the best supplier that they've ever worked with. Be the best supplier that they have ever worked with, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to fight for ways to bring you back in. When I did that deal with the telecommunications company, they loved me so much that they fought for ways to have me come back in. They wanted me to speak at events. They wanted me to interview people for their channel. They were looking for ways, like, can we give this to Evan? Can we have Evan do this? It started off as one throwaway thing. One 300-word article became a 3-year relationship. Something like that is crazy. I want that for you. I don't want you to have to go through crazy big proposals that take 6 months to get a decision. Find one tiny little thing that you can get started off, and then show the value that you bring. And then they're gonna fight over themselves to have you do more work. They'll say, can you do this? Can you do that? We're having a problem here. Can you help out here too? And if it's in your wheelhouse and you say, yes, I'm happy to help. And suddenly you get more and more and more of the entire business without ever having to pitch, without ever having to present, because you're bringing so much value. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I want to know, how can you bring the baker's dozen to one of your clients today? Just give them a little bit extra more value today. Let me know what you're going to do. Put in the comments below.
you always get the same questions. Your answers are usually the same, which is a good thing. It means you're staying consistent. But I'm wondering how many of these questions are just self-validation questions where they already know the answer to it?
A lot.
Does that trouble you at all?
No, I don't think when you're trying to provide value that you get to decide what the value is. That's actually giving. See, people don't get it. Like, Gary Vee, you're full of yourself. Look a little bit deeper. Like I have no ambition to dictate the value that I provide. I have ambition of providing the value the person wants. So if somebody wants to roll up and they need 4 minutes of my time while I'm running to my next meeting and I'm busy, but because nothing gets me more hyped than like bringing humans value, that they need validation, even though I know 92% of the time that's literally what's gonna happen in this micro moment, I'm thrilled to do it, because then if they go do it, they start a podcast and get an interview with me.
Awesome.
If you go to this site, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, you can see the names of the products, but you can't buy. Why? Because I don't want you to go and just look at the course and just say, do I like this or not? Do I feel like, it's not a pack of gum. These are works of art that we spent years and millions of dollars building and testing. And so what I want to do, instead of just trying to get money quickly, I want to build a relationship. So the only thing you can do, you can read 12 years of free material, you can look at our thousands of YouTube videos, but if you want to know more, then I want to send you free material through our email list. And so you can see there's lots of places to sign up to get tons of bonus material. Now if you do that, suddenly you and I have a relationship, and I can send you emails and on and on. So we have, you know, many hundreds of thousands of people who are on our email list, and they get emails from us 4 or 5 times a week. Isn't that a lot?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, I've heard that I email more than people's girlfriends, boyfriends, moms, dad. I say I love it, because our emails break all the rules. They're really long. People say, oh, nobody has time, make it quick. Wrong. If you have something interesting to write, people will read 20-page long emails.
Wow.
And we don't allow people to buy until the time is right. When the time is right, we open up our course. You can join if you choose. If not, that's totally fine.
Hi, this is Dan Lok. If you're a fan of Evan's work, if you want to know exactly how to model my success, I want to invite you to join me for a special online training. All you have to do is click on the link below. You can join me for absolutely no charge. So click on the link below and I will see you in class.
If you want Dan Lok's advice on how to reinvent yourself, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
My first identity was I was basically a wannabe entrepreneur. Not a real entrepreneur, a wannabe entrepreneur.